Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Trent. This is Rams Talk. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in, subscribing, being a part of the Rams community. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Jump on board. Love to have you. A lot of great stuff happening here for all the new subscribers. Thanks for jumping on. It's been great having you, and all the legacy subscribers. You guys are awesome. You make my world go round. You can also find me on Twitter at RealLARamsTalk. So, I was at the game yesterday, first game I've been to all year, and I just want to say something I saw on Twitter, posted by Turf Show Times. Soak this moment up. Soak this game up. We have missed this for so long. If you are a Rams fan and have been a Rams fan for a long time, the feeling that I had last night, which is I'm sure the same feeling you had last night, and that's a feeling that you haven't had or we haven't had in years, in over a decade. And it's, I planned on coming in here and having my stats and this and that to break down the game, but I can't really process this yet because of the feelings, like the real human stuff. And I didn't get to watch the game on TV, so I didn't get all the commentary. I didn't get all of the, all the angles of everything. There's things that are scored and plays that happened on the other end of the field that, I did see the highlights. But, so there's a lot of things I'm missing. But I guess want to convey and talk about just maybe the collective feeling that we all have, and especially coming after the fire and the shootings and just the community, not only of Thousand Oaks and the valley out in the Conejo Valley, but just of all of Los Angeles and what the Rams mean and what the Rams did. It's been crazy. You had the shooting, you had the fires, team members or players on the team and their family and people who work for the Rams had to be evacuated from their homes. Then the Rams had to go to Colorado. And then they had to come back. The Rams organization was told, hey, this game's now being played in LA. And they had to scramble to get this done. And I think Rob Havenstein said he hasn't seen his family in 10 days. And, Whitworth and Goff and everything they're doing for the victims and all that stuff. It's just been a lot. And I think that, and I heard a lot and saw a lot about the Rams after the game in the locker room. Music was playing and guys were dancing and I think this weight of not only having gone through this whole ordeal, but then you have to play the Chiefs. It's not like, oh, all this crazy personal stuff is happening, and then here are the Dolphins. They had to play, aside from New Orleans, the toughest game of the year, and they were ready for that, and they won. And I think going into a bye week and Thanksgiving and getting back to their lives. This was everything. One of the reporters I listened to on the radio after the game said that when he went down to the field, players on both teams were just like limping and exhausted and done. That was a heavyweight bout. And I can sit here and talk about the records of highest scoring this and most points that. You know that. Everyone knows these things. That was a unique game that you'll probably never see again. And, we can sit here and talk about, the blown coverages and all these things that went wrong. But let's just enjoy it. Let's just have fun with it. That's my hot Rams talk take is just enjoy this feeling. There are some things I want to talk about. Like I want to talk about Jared Goff. I want to talk about, actually, here's one for you. 2017 draft, first round pick, didn't have one because we traded that the year before for Jared Goff. Second round pick, Gerald Everett, who Sports Illustrated, when they do those draft recaps, winners and losers and grades, Gerald Everett, they gave a D for the pick of Gerald Everett. We got Cooper Kupp, John Johnson, Samson Ebukam, and and Josh Reynolds. What a draft class 2017 was. Tip of the cap to Les Snead. All of those guys stepped up, with the exception of Cooper Kupp, obviously. But all of those guys are legit contributors to this team. They're not just special teams guys. No offense, special teams guys. But, they're all legit players on this team that contributed. Reynolds touchdown. Everett 2 touchdowns. John Johnson everywhere. I want to say he led the team in tackles. Gerald Cup, you know what he's done. I mean, it's just a great way to build a franchise is you got to do it through the drafts. The teams that are not good in this league miss on the draft. And Jared Goff, the number 1 pick, basically our number 1 pick for 2 years because we traded that pick for him. He has 26 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. He ran a touchdown in yesterday. And you look at this game and you've looked at him all season like it's for real now. We had last year where the Rams came out of nowhere. You're like, whoa, is this for real? It's for real. He is our franchise quarterback for the next 10 to 15 years. We have it. It's Jared Goff. And he's so, sometimes you want your quarterbacks, your players to be so passionate and exuberant and just going crazy. He's not like that. And he's just methodical and he just, nothing rattles him. And that's awesome. We have our franchise quarterback. That's crazy to say. It wasn't Sam Bradford. It's Jared Goff. He has, I think he broke the Rams record for most passing yards in the first 11 games. He beat out Kurt Warner there. So he passed Kurt Warner. He has the most passing yards in the first 11 games in Ram history. And Pat Mahomes, I have to give a lot of credit. I want to give a lot of credit to the Chiefs. And I'll be honest with you. Every time the Chiefs had the ball, I'm like, they could go down the field and score a touchdown. Every time. They can't stop Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill's like a video game. That's crazy. He's crazy. Travis Kelce, both of those guys. Patrick Mahomes, he's legit. He has, I want to say, 11 more touchdowns than Jared Goff. But he turned the ball over 5 times. So, yeah, those 6 touchdowns look great. But 5 turnovers, that is as Brett Favre as you're going to get. He's basically the modern era Brett Favre. And I always like Brett Favre. So he seems like a good dude. Nothing really against any of the players on the Chiefs. So, that was a classic battle. Another player I want to give props to, Johnny freaking Hecker. We haven't used him a lot this year because our offense is good and we hardly punt. But I would say probably the play of the game or underrated play of the game was the 68-yard punt that he had in the fourth quarter there at the end. The Rams had the ball on the 34-yard line. He punted it and Tyreek Hill, that was the end zone kind of where I was sitting. Tyreek Hill kept backing up, backing up, backing up, backing up. And then he catches it in the end zone and he runs it out to the 12. And if that ball and that took 14 seconds off the clock, that was huge. If that's a 50-yard punt, Tyreek Hill's on the 30. Maybe they kick a field goal. It changes the whole dynamic of the end of that game. But now they're pinned back on the 12 and they have to air it out, and that was the interception. So Johnny Hecker, game ball to you. Also going back to Jared Goff real quick. How many times have people said, Jared Goff is great, but can he win a game? Can he drive down the field in 2 minutes? No, he can't. It only took him 30 seconds. But he had 2 go-ahead touchdowns in the last 10 minutes in the fourth quarter. That's he's doing it. Don't look now, but it's actually happening slowly. You don't realize it, but there it is. So he just did that. He won a game in the fourth quarter against the Chiefs. Wasn't against the Dolphins. I'm picking on the Dolphins because, come on, it's the Dolphins. So there you go with that. Josh Reynolds stopped up. Higbee, Everett, everyone on the offense stepped up. A lot of people complain, a lot of Chiefs fans complain about penalties. Well, guess what? Chiefs coming into the game were the number 1 penalized team in football. You are who you are. So you can, there's always a couple penalties and flags that can go the other way. Trust me, Rams fans, you know this. How many penalties have we had called against us? A lot of stupid things that weren't really penalties. So, you are who you are, Chiefs. You are a highly penalized team, and it showed. Moving to the defensive side, Aaron Donald. I was talking to a guy in the thread in the last video who wasn't really giving a lot of props to Aaron Donald, and I think he knows now. And the Chiefs' defensive line is awesome too. Don't get me wrong. Chris Jones, he had a hell of a game, but Aaron Donald is a beast. He is. You can argue that he is actually underpaid, and he's also a guy who got the big payday, and he's performing even better. How many guys like Albert Hainsworth, go back to the past? How many guys cash in these massive checks and these massive contracts, and then just like, cool, I just got paid, got my guaranteed money, whatever. Not Aaron Donald, man. Beast mode. He will go down as a top 5 defensive player of all time. He will, and he's on our team, and it's amazing. Samson Ebukam, a lot of people have been giving him crap. You know, he hasn't really been amazing this year. He's been okay, but that interception was crazy. The 2 strip sacks, that was Aaron Donald. Ebukam was in the right place. So Ebukam had himself a game. John Johnson had himself a game. Marcus Peters with that redemption pick. I mean, you can just go up and down the line. So I mean, the defense, they're the home run hitting team. They're going for the sack. They're going for the interception. That blown coverage against Tyreek Hill is like the one thing you cannot do. It's one thing to have the Chiefs drive down the field in a couple of minutes and score. It's another thing for them to just throw a wide open pass to Tyreek Hill. Like, you can't let that happen, no matter what. And now we have that bye week, and hopefully Aqib Talib comes back. If it takes him a couple weeks to round into form, that's fine. But if he can just be who he was at the beginning of the season before his injury, then I think our secondary will be a lot better. And then moving over to Todd Gurley. I remember I was sitting there thinking, was it like the second drive where he went out of the game and Malcolm Brown was in? And I was like, okay, that's interesting that they're using him this early. I like Brown. Don't know why they don't use him as much, but that was very interesting. And I saw him kind of limping around. Apparently his ankle got rolled up on. And I don't know if that's why he only had 12 carries. That would explain it. If that's the reason why, then fine. But, I mean, they didn't give him a carry, I think, in the last 11 minutes of the game, which is pretty crazy. Even if the Chiefs are game planning around him. I know they threw him some passes there at the end of the game, but, like, I'm never going to really question Sean McVay because he's a genius and we won and look at everything that happened. But Todd Gurley, if he's fine, if he's 100%, 12 carries is just not enough. I had Todd Gurley in fantasy and I lost. It's okay because my real team won. Perspective. But if you would have told me that in a game where 54 points were scored by the Rams and Todd Gurley did not break 100 yards or have a touchdown, I'd say you're crazy. And that is crazy. That literally is crazy. So there's that. Todd Gurley, if he's dinged up a little bit, for all the Rams that are dinged up and spent, this bye week will really serve them well. So that's great news on that front. I mean, yeah, there's just so many different things just floating around. I can't really like articulate it, but I'm so proud of the Rams. I'm so proud of the Rams fans. They showed up in force. Yeah, there was some Kansas City Chiefs fans, but it wasn't I guess like a Green Bay game. And the Rams really showed up, and that's also a testament to tickets going on sale 5 days before this game, and 77,000 plus show up and bring it. And I feel like that was a real city effort all the way around. All the way around. That was a real city effort. The only thing that I'd say sucked about the game yesterday was a halftime show by the Chainsmokers. Like, I've heard of them, but gosh, this is for the kids. I can't say it. But man, they're terrible. If you're a Chainsmokers fan, look in the mirror. Just reevaluate your taste in music. There's nothing good with the Chainsmokers. Nothing good. I mean, it made me want to go to the bathroom and leave my seat, to be honest with you. Anyways, that's enough. This has gone way too long, but I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you for subscribing and your engagement, and I really do appreciate all of that. And this community is great. Even if you're a Chiefs fan, you're welcome. If you're a fan of any team, you're welcome. Let's just be cool. Let's be nice. There's a lot of real stuff happening in the world. So let's everyone just enjoy these Rams and ride it out all the way to the Super Bowl. So thanks for watching. And until next time, go Rams.